So without further ado, I would love to welcome Julia Michaels to the stage.
Hi, everyone. Wow, there's so many people here.
See, we all stand, right? We're all stands of you and the amazing work that you've done, the songwriting, like how you've been able to build your career. I think it's just so inspiring. So when I was asked to do this, I was like, yes, immediately yes.
Oh, thank you so much, and thank you for being here. So nice.
How's it going? What's going on in your life right now?
Well, I just broke a heel going down some stairs. Had to change my shoes because I was so nervous. Um, what's going on in my life? I'm getting married soon, which is pretty exciting. Always writing, always creating. My favorite thing in the world.
I love that. I think that that's honestly why all of us are here because we're such a fan. I saw the short and sweet jersey right here, and I was like, yes, I have
Hell
that
yeah.
one too, kind of. I was gonna say I wanted to get a really holistic approach to your career and also how impactful you've been in, especially in the last year with what we're listening to. But I would love to take it to the beginning.
Let's go.
How did we get into songwriting, girl? What was the first like step that got you into it?
That's a fantastic question. I started with poetry when I was little. I remember writing about sort of anything and everything. Uh, I used to have like journals and journals and journals, and I would always have the alphabet kind of written on top of every page so I could find different rhymes for different words. And then when I was about 12, my mom got me a piano, and I just kind of started fucking around and finding out, basically, and started putting all my poems to the chords that I had made up on the piano, and that's basically how I started.
Do you remember like the first song? I'm sure you get asked this so many times, but do you remember the first song you wrote?
My sister was kind of like the singer of the family, and I was never as confident on stage as my sister, clearly. And I used to always write songs for her to sing. Like, oh, I think this one's good. You should sing this one. Um, she had a friend that was having some health issues at the time, and I had written the song for her to sing to him. I remember that being one of the first songs that I had written.
That's really sweet. I feel like it must be such a form of like showing your love and appreciation too, no, to write a song.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I've just always approached it very emotionally. I think for me, I don't come from a stable home. Came from a very broken home. I didn't have a lot of outlets of communication, and I think that was my way of being able to communicate.
I see. And how does that evolve? Like, how do we go from writing a song like that to dealing with the stuff you were dealing with at home to finally making it part of your or making it your career, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I would write a lot of songs in my bedroom. I don't think my parents really even understood what songwriting was. I don't think I even really understood what songwriting was. I don't think I realized that you could have a career writing songs with and for people. And my sister, how I actually got like started, my sister was doing demos around the city. And for those that don't know what that is, this was before your time. So there used to be, I'm sure this still happens now, but there used to be songwriters that would write a song for an artist, but they might not have somebody in the room that can sing or emulate the artist that they want to pitch it to. So they would hire someone like my sister to come and sing those songs. And I kind of tagged along one day, and I was with my mom, who's a little bit of a momager. Love her so much. Thank God she lives really far away from me. And she, I met a songwriter that day, and my mom was like, "You should sing for her." And I was like, "Shut the fuck up." And I ended up singing for her. I sang a Juliet Sims song called Makeup Smeared Eyes on the piano. And she was like, do you write songs? And I was like, I like to pretend I can. I was 15 at the time. And she was like, okay. And I was getting ready to go to the mall one day with my friend, and my mom is driving me to the mall. She drives me the opposite way. I'm like, where are you going? And she was like, you're going to your first session. And that was when it started, basically.
Wow, that's a wild story.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that it ends up becoming like exactly what maybe where you needed to be. Could we say that?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, because of her name's Jolene Bell. Because of her, we did a theme song for Disney when I was 17, a show called Austin and Ellie. And yeah, did a lot of songs for that. And I started in the sync world. I started with songs for the background of television and film. And I started doing demos around the city to try and meet other songwriters to be like, hey, I write too. And I happened to meet a woman named Lindy Robbins, who was doing a lot of stuff for Hollywood Records at the time. And she called Jolene after she heard my voice and was like, does she write? And she's like, yeah, of course she does. Like, I wouldn't waste my time. And we started writing together. And the first 5 songs we had done together was like Slow Down for Selena, Firestarter for Demi, Miss Moving On for Fifth Harmony. We had like really good chemistry together right out of the gate.
I love that so much. You saying Fifth Harmony, I'm a big fan of Fifth
Are
Harmony.
you?
Yes.
Cute.
I'm definitely a harmonizer, so we will get to the Fifth Harmony questions in a bit. I'm just kidding.
No, I love it.
You were mentioning the Disney connection and going through your discography. Also, you got to kind of reconnect with Wish, which was really cool.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. It was during the pandemic, and I got a call from Tom McDougall, who runs Disney, and he said, we're going to start working on a new film. We have our Lin-Manuels and our Perez's and our Lopez's, and he was like, we kind of want to just try some new things, and, would you be up for trying? I was like, does a bear shit in the woods? Like, and he's like, great, I'll send you the brief, and, let me know if this is something you would want to do. And I was like, amazing. He sends me the brief. I write this wish, like, immediately. And he was like, okay, like, didn't expect you to do that so fast. He was like, don't, we were going to have a meeting with the directors and all this. He was like, don't show them yet. And I was like, okay. So we have the meeting. I waited like a week. And then we send it in. And I'm living in Iowa at the time during the pandemic because that's where I'm from. It's where all my family is. And he calls me one day and he says, hey, so I just want you to know, like, we're going to have every opportunity to work together in the future. So I had to call you and tell you that it's yours. And I was like, what, you asshole? And I remember just dropping to the floor, and my mom was there, and she's like, what? Like, what's going on? And I couldn't even tell her. It didn't feel real to me yet. And then I spent 3 years of my life working on this movie. I kind of took a break for a little bit from pop music because it was so, I was just giving a lot of myself at the time, and I didn't really have a lot of capacity for pop music then. But it was amazing. I mean, I got to see the ins and outs of how Disney movies get made, and I mean, everybody that I worked with at Disney were so incredible and beautiful and lovely, and I could not have asked for a better team to do that with.
That's awesome. I love that. Must be like a really interesting balance and a change from making pop music in that way. Like, that's a complete shift.
Absolutely. I mean, it is and it isn't. You're still doing what somebody needs of you. What we do as songwriters is such an act of service. At the end of the day, it's not really about you. It's about what the person wants. And, you can always sprinkle yourself into it. I think that's inherent. You're always going to put a little bit of yourself into things, but it's what the people want. And so when we were doing the movie, we were given prompts. And we're kind of told like what we need to do, but then we get to make it our own, which was really fun.
That's really cool. I think that part is so interesting too, especially because you also have your artist project. So it's like, you called it an active service, which I think is a really interesting way of describing it. You're there for the service of the project and of the artist. Is there like a mental switch, or are there times where you're writing generally and you're like, oh, this might be good for Sabrina or somebody else that I'm working with, or do you always know like what you're writing for, who it's for?
Typically, if I'm writing for somebody, I'm writing with them. It's been a very long time since I've done a pitch record. So I'll carve out time for myself to do songs for me, and sometimes I just need that. Sometimes I just need a moment to just write however I feel, unfiltered and unapologetic, and not within a parameter. And then I can be with other people and hear their thoughts and feelings and hear where they want to go and how they want to take it, and hope that I can help elevate their ideas.
I love that so much. I mean, and clearly, like, so many of these artists trust you because that's such a personal thing. I was speaking to some songwriters a few weeks ago, and one of the things they said was that they sometimes feel like they're a little bit like a therapist in the studio, that they start their sessions with, like, how are you doing? And that kind of leads the way. How do those sessions look like for you?
I would say pretty much the same. Yeah, I think what we do is very vulnerable. You know, you're going into a room with someone you've never met, and you have this expectation that you're going to sort of spill your guts and maybe something will come out of it. And, 90% of the time it does. And then the other 10%, sometimes you just have to get to know somebody first. And they're like, all right, we did that. Maybe next time we'll write something. I used to put a lot of pressure on it, and now I don't, because I realized that I'm human. And some days we're going to write something amazing, and some days we're not, and that's totally okay. But yeah, I would say a majority of the sessions start with just a conversation. There are a few artists, I'm not going to name names because I'm respectful, where like they'll see me and they'll just cry. And I don't know if it's my face or something, but they'll see me and they'll just feel very safe, I guess, which I feel very grateful for.
I mean, that you said it. I think if you feel safe in an environment, I feel like that's where maybe the creative juices flow the best too, no?
Definitely. I mean, we're not always just like, ugh.
Sobbing,
We're not always just crying and spilling our feelings. Sometimes it really depends on the artist. Sometimes an artist will come in and maybe they're going through something, but they don't want to talk about it at all. They want to be in complete avoidance mode, and they want to talk about how they just went out with their friends and did coke for 6 hours. And it's like, yeah, hell yeah, let's do that. It really depends on the artist, on the day, how comfortable they are with you. And obviously, the more that you work with somebody, the more they feel compelled to tell you things, and they feel, safer with you.
For sure. I think that must be so crucial. And I was looking at the numbers of just like in the last few albums that I've loved. Well, first with the Queen Britney Spears, you did 9 songs on Glory, which is wild.
I love her.
That's literally mother. Thank
love
you.
Love her.
A clap for Britney, please.
Yes. Yes.
And in the last few years, you did 4 songs on Tate's album as well.
Yeah.
And 6 songs on Short and Sweet, which is like literally the entire album because that's a short album. Like
short and sweet, huh?
What is it like to be in the studio? I'm assuming working for a Britney album is completely different from working with a Tate or a Sabrina. How do those processes differ?
They differ from the person. Britney will come in and she's super professional. She will sing the most amazing 2000s pop melody you will ever hear in your life. And you're like, yep, that's a song, amazing. And she's so cute. Like, she has this super thick, like, Louisiana kind of accent, and she'll talk like this all day. And then with Sabrina, she's really quippy. She's super funny. She just says the craziest things. And you're like, yeah, that's got to be in the song, obviously. Like, come right on me. It has to go. And Tate is, I mean, she is the kind of person, like I said, so different. Oh my God, they're so different. Tate will go on a mic and sing like a whole song basically from top to bottom. And then we'll fill in the blanks of what needs to go, what and where and how. But melodically, she'll take it away. And then Ryan will jump on, and then I will jump on. And then we have this beautiful puzzle piece of all of our brains. So it depends. It's just, they're all different. It's always so fun. You never know what you're going to get. It's funny because I am such a routine kind of person. I'm so fucking anxious, like, all the time. And my job, even though it is very structured in the way that I structure my day, it's not structured in the way that I just have no idea what it's going to be. And some days I'm so happy. I'm like ready to go in for the day. And I'll be with an artist and they're like, yeah, I just broke up with my boyfriend today. And I'm like, whoa, okay. Let me rework my body to be here with you in case this is what you want to write about. Or some days I'm really fucking sad and I like don't feel like doing anything. And they're like, let's write a big old boppy bop. And I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. You know?
Wait, has there been songs that have come out from those spaces that you can remember right now?
Not that I can remember right this
I'm like
second.
putting you on the spot, but like I'm curious, like are there songs that you were just not in the headspace that the song is in that comes to mind?
Not that comes to mind right now, but there were definitely songs that did not come out where I was, and they probably didn't come out because you could tell, you could just feel it in the song that I was not there.
I love that. That's hilarious. And I'm sure there's so many songs in the vault that it's out of your control what gets released or not. Okay, wait. I'm just gonna ask it, but you don't have to answer. Are there specific
Scary.
songs from some of these artists that you're like that you remember vividly writing and loving so much that we haven't?
Yeah.
You can give us an example or two. That would be great. Get your Twitter fingers out. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, when you write songs with artists, it's not like you write 4 songs and those 4 songs make it, you know? Sometimes it takes 6 songs, 10 songs, 12 songs to make those 4 songs. And, you know, for example, like Short and Sweet, we probably wrote 6 more songs than what went on the album. They were all so equally good, but, you know, it comes down to what the artist wants at the end of the day. And maybe those songs are better. I guess people will never know.
Yeah. Or maybe we will for the 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, who knows?
That's one of my favorite parts. I think with Taylor Swift, we've been able to revisit the catalogs of those records. So in some ways, like those Taylor's versions were a blessing in disguise because we got to see some of those songs that didn't make it on. So I hope we get that for some of the work that you've done.
Fingers crossed.
Are there any times that you've made a song with an artist where you're like, wait, low-key, I want to keep this for myself?
No, because I'm just not like that. I put a lot of faith in the artists that I'm with to, you know, after we write a song together, that's their baby. They found a home there, and hopefully they love it and nurture it and protect it and make it their own. But no, I'm not. I think I don't know if I'd even have a career right now if I was like, yeah, I'll take that, thank you, you know? That would be really bitchy.
I mean, you're at that level where you could be doing that, but
no. I really think that I still have a job.
No, 100%.
Because I'm a very respectful person.
I love that. And I was going to ask about that too. How do you know when a song's done that it's no more tweaks on it, no more changes? Like, how do you know? Does it just click?
I wish there was like a mathematical, algorithmic something I could tell you. But really, it just comes down to a feeling. I really believe in trusting your gut. Hopefully your gut is good. But I don't know. It's a feeling. And I can tell when something feels special in a room too. Like there's just this sort of pit in your stomach feeling where you're like, oh, wait, I think we're onto something really, really good. But it's not something you can teach. It's just something that's sort of innate, I think.
That makes sense. Like it's kind of it comes naturally. We were talking earlier about the first song you wrote. Do you remember the first song that you like placed on a record of like somebody that you admired? What was that feeling like?
Yeah. I honestly think it was Britney.
Yeah.
I think the first time I heard Britney sing was on a song called "Do You Want to Come Over," and I remember we played it for her in the room, and she goes, "Oh my God, I want to cut it right now." I was like, "Okay, yeah," and it was the first time I had heard her voice on a record, and I always say, you know, you're going into the room with human beings. We all bleed the same, cry the same. But when I hear someone on the mic for the first time, it's like being a child again. And I remember Britney was my first concert too, by the way. And so being with her and hearing her sing that song for the first time, I vividly remember just being like a puddle. And Justin Chanter, who I write songs with, was like, get the fuck up. Like, vocal produce.
That's hilarious. I mean, that just goes to show how important it was to you and such a iconic album. Fun fact, it's actually for sale downstairs. Like the first vinyl they had in their rack was
Stop.
Glory. And I like had come in with my questions about it, so I thought that was serendipitous. Unless you placed it there.
Yeah, that was me.
I wanted to do something silly and walk through some of your writing credits. And I told you earlier that I wanted to just kind of go like roulette,
gosh.
and you told me to stop. And I just want to hear like a fun fact, a story, or any memories that you remember from writing one of those songs.
Okay.
Is that weird?
No.
Okay, let's do it. Wait, actually, but first I want to choose the first one because I want to ask about Miss Moving On by Fifth Harmony.
Miss Miss Moving On, I wrote that with Lindy and Jason Evigan, and I remember that when we wrote it, the chorus was too high, so I had to flip from full to false, purely on accident, and it ended up sounding really, really cool in the song, and we just kind of kept it that way. And actually, that was the first song I had ever heard that I had gotten to co-write on the radio, and I knew it was gonna be on the radio because I was told. And I got in my car. I was driving around Sherman Oaks, the Oaks of Sherman, and they had sang an acoustic version of it. And I had to pull over because I was crying so much. I think I was 19 at the time, and you know, I didn't grow up with a great life, and so to be able to do this, you know, 19 years old, you don't know that this is gonna change your life. You don't know that. And I remember calling my mom and crying. I'm like, it's on the radio. She's like, what's on the radio? I'm like, a song I wrote. She's like, what song? Like, and yeah, just being so overwhelmed. I just couldn't believe it. So Fifth Harmony will always hold a special place in my heart, too.
It holds a special place in mine. I mean, you also wrote Dope and All in My Head Flex from their second album, 727.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm so sorry. That was really specific.
Do you have a Fifth Harmony tattoo?
That's coming soon. I actually very much stand, and I think because they reunited, it's like a renewed fervor.
Did you freak out when you saw them on stage?
I was there.
You
which was
were
crazy.
there?
Yes. And
Period.
they played All in My Head during the intro of the performance, which is one of the songs you co-wrote as well, which is really cool. Okay, let's get to our roulette part, because then I'll just fan out, and that's not good. So I just want to, you just tell me when to stop, and then I'll stop.
Okay.
I'm going.
Okay. Oh, right now.
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
Commander-in-Chief by Demi Lovato.
Oh, wow.
That was a big song, but also just Demi Lovato is somebody you've worked with so many times.
I have worked with Demi since I was 19 years old. Yeah, we wrote Commander in Chief together. Wow, what a song. I think it was for a certain president's first term. And she had strong feelings. We all had strong feelings in the room. And yeah, she was like, "This is what I want to do today. I feel very strongly about this." And we were like, "Let's do that. That's how you feel. Let's do that."
And you also did, okay, I'm looking at the list of all the Demi songs you wrote. Firestarter you had mentioned.
Yeah.
The Kind of Lover I Am from Dancing with the Devil.
Yeah.
The Way You Don't Look at Me as well. Kingdom Come with Iggy Azalea.
Yeah.
I literally could just keep going down just the Demi rabbit hole.
Are you on my Wikipedia?
I am, girl. Come on. I was on the Spotify one earlier, but they listed one wrong, so I'm like, maybe Wikipedia's gonna be better.
Nice.
So yeah, I think that it must be really interesting to build those long-term relationships with artists that you can come back to and write a song like that, but also completely different vibe with the same person.
For sure. Like I said, you just never know what you're gonna get. You know, we could write a song like Commander in Chief, and we, you know, this is a good example of, you know, we did a few songs for her new album, but I have no idea if they're on. It'll be like Christmas morning. It'll be like a little surprise. You know, but you've seen the music she's putting out. It's very dance focused and fun and exciting and very free. You know, so going from a song like Commander in Chief to a song like that, it's just you just literally never know. You're like, great, yeah, let's dance it the fuck out. Like,
I love it.
Let's go.
I love the new era. What's it been like to be in the studio with Demi now for the new album? Completely different, no longer the rock era that she had, but now a pop electronic sound.
Well, she's doing her own thing now. I was just there for the baby start of it, but it's always nice to see her. And you know, I feel like, you know, like Demi, Selena, like we go through moments of not seeing each other for a long time and then seeing each other, and you know, we're growing up together in a weird way. You know, like Selena and I have always had like a very weird soul connection. We always seem to be going through the same things at the same time. We're engaged at the same time. That's like so weird. And you know, heartbreaks at the same time. And so I think writing with her has always made a lot of sense because we just are feeling the very same thing at the same time, almost at all times. Just
That must be really cool.
Bizarre. Yeah.
Wait, can I go through the Selena songs?
My little soul sister.
Bad Liar, Boyfriend from Rare, Fun from Rare, so many songs from Rare, but also Revival, Hands to Myself, Lose You to Love Me, Me and the Rhythm, Perfect, Revival. Like also from Stars, like literally through all the eras. Girl, you write in Spanish too. You were on the Revelación EP.
I did write part of that song, and then it was translated. Yeah, Selena is probably my longest collaborator that I've ever had. When we did Slow Down, she was 20, I was 19. And I had seen her again at a studio. And actually, let me rewind. I had done a song with a songwriter. We had written a song called Nobody. And she loved it and wanted us to come in and rewrite it with her so that it was like a little bit more personal. And she was like, I feel like we're going through the same thing because like this is exactly how I feel. And she sounded so beautiful on the song. And I ran into her like a couple weeks later at a studio, and she's like, I'm going to Mexico in like 2 weeks to work on my album. This was when Revival was happening. She's like, you have to come. And when she was going to Mexico, I was going to Sweden with my friend Justin, and I was like, do you mind if Justin comes so that we could go, straight from Mexico to Sweden together? She's like, yeah, bring him. So we, when we're there, we write a majority of Revival there. And we left there, went to Sweden together, and we wrote like Love Myself for Haley Steinfeld there, and like it was a very, very, very productive week. But it basically that was basically the start of our sort of love affair, was her inviting me on a trip. I was like, what? You're paying for me to go somewhere with you?
And you can bring a +1, girl. That's cool. I mean, and speaking of
buy
Justin,
me dinner.
Like the fact that it's like you and Justin through so many of these artists. What's your songwriting relationship like with Justin?
We used to call each other good cop, bad cop. I was bad cop. Because Justin was really good at making a room very fun, and I was good at just writing things down and trying to get like the structure down and trying to get things done, and he was the like, let's go, person in the room. So we were really good together. I don't feel like I'm like in a room. I really enjoy having people that are really like energetic and lively, because I think when I'm writing, I can get like kind of serious, or people are kind of having conversations, but I'm like really deep in the lyric that I can't join the conversation until I figured it out in my head. And by the time I figured it out, they're on like 3 other subjects, and I'm like, wait, what about this? And like, oh, you're still there? I'm like, oh yeah, sorry. So I think we were really good combination together, and I think I gravitate towards. That's why, like, with Ryan Tedder, with Tate, he's so energetic. It really helps move along. And John Ryan with Sabrina, like he's like a big Labrador, and I'm a cat. Yeah, I love those energies so much.
That's cute. Let's go back to this roulette because I kind of got off track.
Sorry.
Okay, ready? No, that was my fault. Ready?
Okay. Oh.
Tell me when to stop. Sorry by Justin Bieber from Purpose.
Yeah.
You did do that.
I did do that. That happened circa 2015 mold. Yeah, so I don't typically do night sessions. That's not in my DNA. I'm a morning person. But Josh Goodwin was working on the Purpose album at the time. He is Justin's longtime vocal producer. And I've known Josh for a long time, and he texted me one night and was like, hey, we're working on the album. Do you want to come and try some stuff? And we were in the thick of Revival. I think it was the same week we had done Hands to Myself, and he was like, just come to Record Plant, like let's write some songs. So I was like, cool, like I'm gonna bring Tranter, let's just like do what we gotta do. We write one song one night that was really good. I thought it was really good. Never saw the light of day. And then the next day we go back and I basically freestyled the verse, the pre and the chorus of Sorry, and then came out and wrote it with Tranter. And I think like the next day his A&R had heard it and was like, Justin loves it, but we originally had kind of these like stutters in the verses. It was like, you go and give me my honesty, and he was like, yeah, he doesn't like that, and I was like, okay. So then they tried to have Pooh Bear, who is one of his lifelong collaborators, rewrite the verses. And we were like, cool, yeah, no problem. And we got it back, and it just kind of changed the whole feeling of the song. Just didn't hold the same emotion. And I remember his A&R being like, you guys need to just take out the stutters. And we're like, all right, cool. So we go back, like, I don't know, it's late, 2 in the morning or something, and we just put little filler words in so that we still have the rhythm. You gotta go and get angry at all my honesty. And then, yeah, I think from the time that we had written it to the time that it had come out was all of maybe, I'm not even kidding, this is so rare, this does not happen, was probably all of 3 weeks. It from the time we had written it to the time he had cut it to the time it had come out. And then it was just kind of, and we had written it very fast. I think we wrote it in like an hour. So we did not anticipate that song doing what it did. Very grateful though.
I mean, that was a defining song for that year, which
Yeah.
was wild. And the fact that it did take this journey. And also it's interesting how your relationship with the song changes over time too.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
every song changes over time. I mean, there's songs that I've written for myself that hold weight in one way, and then 5 years later hold weight in another way.
I would love an example.
Like, like What a Time, for example. I wrote that about, one person that I was in love with, and then the next time that I sang it, 5 years later, it sticks to somebody else. And I think that's kind of the beauty of music, it just helps you cope through a lot of life's changes, changes that you don't expect.
For sure. No, that makes a lot of sense. Let's do one more roulette. Yeah? Are you down or no?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Ready?
Yeah. Stop.
We went back to Selena, so I'm just gonna scroll one up to Sabrina, which is the one right before it.
Okay.
Let's talk about these songs on Short and Sweet. So, Bad Chem, Coincidence, Dumb and Poetic, Good Graces, and then Taste.
Yeah.
That's like, as I said, like that's the whole album. That's like my favorite songs on this record. What did those sessions look like for you? And also Skinny Dipping, which was not on this specific album.
No, yeah. We did a lot of emails I can't send together, and when she that's another one. You never know when you're going to be asked back. You just never know. You're like, "Oh, like did I do enough? Am I good enough? Am I funny enough?" And so when she wanted to work on Short and Sweet, I was like, yes, because I just loved working with her so much. And I remember we went to France. She wanted to do some of the album in France. And we were in the middle of fucking nowhere in France. Like, I swear, I have no idea where we were. We were like 3 hours away from civilization. And it was it was like midnight. I hadn't slept in 3 days. I have super bad insomnia. So add that with jet lag, and I don't even know where I was. I've never done drugs, but I'm pretty sure that's what it felt like. And we wrote Dumb and Poetic in the middle of the night at like 2 in the morning in my weird, like slightly schizophrenic state. And it's one of my favorite songs I've ever been a part of, for sure. And it was just funny because I was going through something like that at the time, dating someone that was breaking up with someone that was very dumb and poetic. If you know him, huh? And so, yeah, we we really bonded over that concept.
It must be nice, like as you were saying earlier. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't hear that. I'm just kidding. I think from what you're saying and relating it back to what you're saying about Selena earlier, it must be really cool to have somebody that's also like in similar age of you, going through similar situations and talking about these subjects and then making like art out of it?
Bashing men.
Real.
Love it. Love that for us.
I love that so much. Well, that's it on my I was say Russian roulette. No, my song roulette. I have some that I also wrote down. You mentioned "Love Myself," but also you did "Sports Car" for Tate McRae, which is such a defining song of this year. What was that process like, and what other songs did you work with Tate on?
We wrote Sports Car, we wrote Revolving Door, we wrote Dear God, and we wrote I Know Love together. Yeah, thank you. And we did those songs, I think I think it was a span of a week that we had done those songs. I had worked with Tate when she was 17, and even then I thought she was super, super talented, and we didn't really work together again after that, and I was kind of surprised because I really loved her, and I thought we had really good chemistry. And I got the call, I think, last year. No, last year. I don't know where I am anymore. Last year, and I was so excited, and I remember being so nervous, and I even had some ideas prepared just in case, because I really, really wanted it to work, because I just think she's so hot and amazing and talented. Have my babies. I remember the first song we did together was Dear God, and they had this sort of melody structure, and they had the word Dear God, but they were like, we don't really know how we want to do it yet. And I was like, okay, think, brain, think. Like, secure your position. And I was like, oh, what if it's like, Dear God, like, take his kiss out of my head, and like take his memory out of my bed. Like, what? Maybe it's like, please, erase this man from my brain. And they're like, oh, I like that. And I was like, you do? And then after that, it was like, oh, okay, great. And I love how breathy her tone is. And I have always wanted to do a whisper song with somebody. And so I was like, hey, Tate, what about a whisper? And she was like, yeah, let's try it. And that's the one amazing thing about Tate, I will say. She will try anything. I definitely have worked with artists where they're like, I wouldn't say that. It's like, yeah, but how do you know you won't say that unless we try it? And she really will try anything. And that's my favorite. Because I'm like, you never know where it's going to lead. We dare to suck. And I remember doing the whisper, and I remember her being on her laptop and being like, oh, but you got a sports car, we can in it. And I like her just like, she's like, yeah, I like sports car. And I was like, yeah, love it. And yeah, I think that was a song we actually wrote really, really fast as well. And she's really, really, really amazing at self-editing. Like, we'll write the song, and then the next day she'll be like, okay, Grant, who is one of the producers on the song, she'll be like, oh, I don't think I like this part of the production. Can we change this? Or can we add this maybe? And she'll be like, you know what? I think I want to try a new bridge. And, she'll go through all these different changes, but then it'll be amazing. And there's not a lot of artists that self-edit that I've worked with that can do that like very effectively, and she does it very effectively.
That's really cool. I mean, all these stories, I'm just like, I'm imagining myself in the room, and I can see Tate like whispering the lyrics.
She also, like, when she's typing stuff down, she'll like look off into space, and I just know she is choreographing it in her mind. I just know it. I'm like, yeah.
I mean, that VMA's performance was insane.
Iconic.
So good.
Iconic.
I love that so much. Wait, this has been so fun. I want to go through like every song. I'm like, but I did want to ask too, of the songs that you have written, which do you think is the most like underrated by the public?
Oh, That's a good question. Mm, I did a song with Conan Gray called People Watching. And thank you. And it was just, it was the first time we ever wrote together. And I don't know, it just like holds a very special place in my heart. And I thought maybe more people would hear it. And I still love that song so much. And I love Conan so much.
That very much felt like the centerpiece of that album. Truly, that's one of my favorite albums by him. So I think it just goes to show how important it was to the entirety of a project. And when it comes to albums, like I feel like there's always those songs that really define it, and I think People Watching was one of them. And I
That's very
wholeheartedly
nice of
say
you to
that.
Thank you so much.
For sure.
I love him. I love that song.
No, he also ate at the VMAs. He did amazing too.
He's amazing.
I wanted to ask too about genre jumping. Like you also work a lot with Maren Morris, who has a little bit of a period.
Oh.
Yes, we love Maren. Obviously, a little bit more of a country flair. I'm curious if the song. I know that country Nashville songwriting is so different from like pop songwriting, right?
Very.
How do you adapt to that? How does it change for you?
I think country music is much more challenging, but I love a challenge. Uh, I love how smart the lyrics are, how in depth they are. I mean, that can definitely happen with pop music, but a lot of the times with pop music, you have to make it relatable for everybody. And I think that country music can be really it's like smart and emotional at the same time, which I love. And when you write country music, you have to really be accepted in the country community. You don't just go there and you're like, all right, I'm gonna write country songs now. You have to have a sort of level of respect when you go there. And I have been writing there since I was 19, so this wasn't something that I just dipped my toe into. This is something that I've really loved and wanted to do for a long time. And I grew up on country music. I was born in Iowa. My mom and my dad were very into country music, so I grew up on Keith Urban and Shania Twain and Faith Hill and Kenny Chesney. And so, yeah, being able to do that is really special. And actually, the first song Maren and I ever wrote together was nominated for Best Country Song at the Grammys, Circles Around This Town. Yeah, that was the first time we had ever written together, and we were talking about, just how hard it is to make it in this industry and the things you have to go through. And we were talking about the car that she had when she moved to Nashville, and I was telling her that my first apartment, I had to pay first month's, last month's, and 2 deposits. And she was like, we should put that in the song. And I was like, hell yeah, we should. Yeah, that was literally the first time we ever wrote together, and I'm obsessed with her. I just think she's so magical, and we've written songs together since. And
she was on your EP.
She was on my EP. Well, we had written a song called "Cut" together for her EP, and she had messaged me and was like, "Would you want to feature on this?" And I was like, me? I was like, well, actually, it's really funny you say that because I have a song called Scissors on my EP, completely unrelated to yours. And I sent her the song, and she was like, wait, this is so funny. And I sent her the treatment for the video, and she was like, we have to do this. And so I did Cut with her. She did Scissors with me.
Wait, that's perfect. Wait, speaking about your own music, I want to talk about GFY Records. Julia Michaels started her own record label.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get into that, because I think it must be so different to make music and release it under your own imprint, knowing that it's for you, by you.
Absolutely.
How has that been like for you? Like, how does that change your approach to your own music?
It's been magical, to be honest. I was signed to a major label for a very long time, and I had a champion there for basically like the first 2 years that I was signed there, and um, and when he left, I felt like I was sort of just floating around on the label, and I would have a different A&R this month and then a different A&R this month, and I never felt fully like settled there. And every time I would do a song, I just felt like I couldn't really get anyone to believe in me. And I think that really does something to your psyche and makes it really hard for you to believe in yourself. And then it really messes with your self-worth. You know, you're like, oh, I'm a part of all these amazing songs. You know, I get to write these amazing songs with people, but I can't get my label to even look in my direction with songs that I'm trying to make for myself. And it's really disheartening. It's disheartening, and you know, even my manager was like, you don't see her on a daily basis. You don't see how much this is affecting her creatively. And they finally let me go. It was a very amicable thing. There was no bad blood, even though I did name my label Go Fuck Yourself. There was no bad blood. And the first song that I kind of wrote outside of that label deal was a song called Heaven 2. And I did it with my friends in the safest space in his house in Long Island, and my friend John Bellion. And it was so liberating and fun, and I just felt revived. I felt relieved and I felt revived. And that was kind of the point for me where I was like, I think I want to put music out, but on my own terms. And I don't want 40 people telling me what to do. And I want a small team that understands me, that gets my vision and lets me play visually, lets me write whatever I want to write and however I want to write it with whoever I want to write it with. And I want to just make music again. I'm so grateful for my fans who have been there for me since day one and have been so patient with me putting out music. And, you know, I still see some of the same faces that have been there for me, and I'm so grateful that, you know, they're still here and I get to still make music and do it the way I want to do it.
I love that. Must be the. Can we get a clap for that, please? Thank you. So important.
It's been a long journey.
I bet. What's inspiring you in your music that you're making now? Now that you get to release it on your own.
Freedom.
Period. I love that GFY is Go Fuck Yourself. Period.
Period.
And it's been cool to see a lot of other female artists that are starting their own record labels. Like I'm thinking of Hayley Williams with her own.
Kesha.
Yeah, Kesha, Marina. Like it's people that are truly embracing that freedom and going and being free, really.
Yeah, and just putting the power in your hands and not men.
That part says me. I wanted to so before we started here, some fans sent in some questions that I put in my little pocket.
Cutie.
And I would love to ask them. And if you asked it, just raise your hand so we
just
know
scream.
That it's you. Okay, the first song. I'm reading the question while I'm asking it. The first question is, what's your favorite song you've ever written and why?
What's my favorite song of someone else's or my own?
Person who asked that.
Both. Okay. Someone else's, I would probably say "Lose You to Love Me." The day that Sorry went #1 on Billboard, I was dating like just one of the worst people of all time of ever. And when and he just made that day awful for me. It was just hell. And the day Lose You to Love Me went #1 on Billboard, it felt very redeeming. And I felt like I got to sort of rewrite that. And I got to do it with obviously people that I just think the world of. Okay, mine. Oh my gosh, there's so many songs. Honestly, I'm gonna say a new one. I did a song on my EP called Time, and it was a super personal song. It's about my last relationship and basically how he broke up with me on FaceTime after 3 years. Right? It's okay, I'm getting married. And yeah, it really kind of chronicles my relationship, and I made every single lyric end with the word time because, you know, I wasted a lot of it. um,
Okay, girl, but you got that ring on your finger now, so we're out here now.
Period. And he's so hot. Go look at my Instagram.
This next question is from Alyssa. So if you're here, say hi. Oh, period.
Hi.
Alyssa asked, do you feel that you've created a home within your music?
That's such a nice question. Yeah, I do. I think that, you know, when I write songs, that is who I am. I don't hide anything. I'm such an open book, and it really is the place where I feel the most myself when I write songs. When I write songs, period, but when I write songs. And they are a little bit like friends, you know, you can sort of revisit them when you feel a type of way about something. And you can listen to them at any time of day for any sort of occasion. Yeah, I do. That's a really beautiful question. Thank you.
I love that question, Alyssa.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal that one for next time. This question.
I haven't seen you in so long. Don't make me cry. Oh my gosh. Okay.
The next question is, what is one of your favorite things about songwriting? Hey.
Hey, girl.
Hi.
Hi. What's my favorite thing about songwriting? I think my favorite thing about songwriting is sort of the puzzle piece of it all. You know, you could be talking to someone for 6 hours in a room, and you look down, you're like, wait, we wrote it. Like, wait. And you spent time kind of writing the verse, and then writing the pre, and then writing the verse again, and then you have this beautiful concoction of everybody's brains. It's so fucking cool. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of jobs where, you know, you get to be that collaborative, but it's I think it's just a very unique experience. You know, who gets to share their feelings with people in a room, and then the world gets to hear it. Like, that's so magical.
I love that so much.
I love songwriting. It's just so fun.
This is a very smart question that I had trouble reading earlier. 'Cause I would.
Do you
love
want
for
me
you-
to read it
No,
for
I got
you?
it. A lot of your music breaks traditional syncopation and rhythm norms.
Ooh, okay,
How do you
syncopation.
determine when to do so, and what comes first, the words or the melody? Who asked that? Because that's really good. Period.
Are you a
ate that.
songwriter?
Period.
Okay, nice. I was like, syncopation.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even think about it, to be honest. I've just always, like I said, kind of really gone with my gut and write just what feels right. And I have producers that hate to see me coming because a lot of the times there'll be a producer that is really drum focused, and I actually hate drums like so much. I actually like to say that I think that Purgatory is somebody messing around with drum machines. So like the boom 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 cat boom like in a session, it's like it really does something to me. I really hate it. And so a lot of the times I won't let anybody play drums because I think that drums can really affect where a melody can go. It can really affect the cadence of things because maybe you want to do things that feel kind of off kilter, but the drums are very structured. So a lot of the times I will not have the drums, and then I'll sort of let the drums I'll let the melody inform the drums.
Well, that's really interesting. I feel like a lot of people do think of.
I'm undiagnosed, but maybe I should be.
People think of songwriting sometimes as maybe like mathematical or formulaic, and for some people that might work. That's not the case for you.
Yeah.
No way.
That's not for me.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Short and sweet.
No drums. Okay. This question is from Jay, but I don't know that somebody here just goes by Jay, but over there in the back.
Hi,
It's
Jay.
a really good question too. How did What a Time as a duet with Niall come about? And is there more Niall in your future?
I wrote What a Time after I had seen an ex at a baseball game. And we walked right past each other as if we just didn't even know each other at all. And we were together for 3 years. And I just thought, what a crazy concept to be so in love with somebody and you can just walk past them as if they just don't even exist. And I was working with Tranter and this production group called RKCB at the time. And I had What a Time just sort of written down in my notes. And yeah, we wrote it together that day. And I had met Niall through some, we were doing some like award shows. And so we had met each other kind of off and on. And then I went on tour with him for a while. And I sent it to him and I was like, do you think this is anything you would sing with me? And 20 minutes later, he sends me a video back of him learning the guitar part. And he came to the studio with me and my really good friend, Ben Rice, who's just an incredible producer, vocal producer. And yeah, he sang the second verse. And I remember crying when I heard him sing it. And I was crying so much he had to come out and give me a hug. And yeah, we've just been good friends ever since. I love that man to death. No, he is not in my future. But I did just sing with him at the Forum. We sang What a Time together, which was so magical. Yeah.
I love that.
Not currently. Maybe. You never know.
I asked you. I think we answered this one. Oh, we've been through them. Period.
We did.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
This was so
for your
much fun.
questions.
So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go off stage and then
Yeah, I'm gonna go throw up from nerves.
and then she'll be back to perform for us.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.